Good morning, Jillian from Greenland Garden Center. Happy to be back on the road and doing the garden tours again. And today we're with Linda Lindeman. She's an artist and her home is beautiful. The yard is fantastic. I can't wait to take you for a tour. Thank you, Linda, for having us here at your home.
Oh, you're very welcome. I'm happy to share it with everyone.
So here we are, we've just come in from the entrance and we're in sort of this courtyard space between the house and the garage, and the central focus is this Buckeye tree that has a lot of fruit and nuts on it right now. It's just gorgeous. Do you want to talk to me a little bit about this space?
Yeah, sure. We were fortunate enough when we purchased this farm that the owners had got a landscaping plan done by Greenland, actually.
Yeah.
Which is great. They've got the pavers and everything, and yes, this Buckeye just fits this space perfectly. It doesn't grow too large, and we love the fruit, and in the spring it's alive with bees. Like, it's just humming like crazy. It's buzzing.
Yeah.
And it's quite lovely.
Yeah. And when you're looking out, so the kitchen is here,
Yes.
and your sort of summer room.
Yes.
That you're canopied by the mountain ash.
Yeah.
So in the spring, I find, people talk about mountain ash as being sort of this messy tree that the berries drop. And I find that the berries actually really do cling on, and
Yeah.
they feed bees when they're in blossom.
Yeah.
Waxwings. Like, I can imagine sitting here and just watching the waxwings
yeah.
flying back and forth between these trees and just having a feast.
Absolutely. You get the big flocks of waxwings, like 20 at a time, and they just go through the tree in minutes. Really, It's amazing.
Yeah. Besides the swooshing of the wings of that, and then the sound coming off of the fountain, this
yeah.
really is just a beautiful, beautiful space. Behind us, we have this wonderful water feature. I want to go explore that and
Yes.
chat just about all of these lilies and what's happening as we go further into the yard.
Absolutely. Let's go check it out.
Let's do this. All right, let's chat about this feature. So, few things have caught my eye. I really, so I grew up on a farm as well, and so we had all of these windbreaks, and I believe this is it's an emerald moundine honeysuckle?
Yes.
Is that
Yeah.
correct?
Yeah.
And what drew me to this was just the shape is so soft, the color is that deep blue, and then the red berries.
Yeah.
I feel as though it's a very old-fashioned plant that you don't see so often anymore, and I really think it needs to make its way back into the landscape.
I 100% agree. I've planted another one in another section, and I love how it just mounds.
Yeah.
And I barely trim it, and it's sort of a lovely tidy shrub, and I love that color.
Yeah, the color, it's just so soft and beautiful.
Yes.
And then of course we must talk about the pond itself and these water lilies. So, so a lot of people would think that ponds and water features are a load of work, but you think the opposite.
So,
Tell me about it.
I actually do nothing with the water lilies, to be honest.
So they overwinter?
They overwinter. The pond is deep enough. It's just past my knee in the center. So yeah, we don't bring the pots in. We just keep it. It freezes over, and they come back every year.
Yeah.
And they're amazing.
And there's still, this was covered in a profusion of lilies.
Yes.
And you can still see them tucked throughout because it is a little bit later in the season.
Yeah.
But beautiful, just beautiful.
Yeah, it's an amazing feature.
Yeah. Oh, and then you have these, the Rhodiola.
Oh yeah.
How do you say it again?
Rosea? Yeah.
Rhodiola rosea.
Yeah.
This little succulent
Yes.
that you can pretty much break off and place anywhere.
Absolutely. It's one of the hardiest. It's zone 1.
Yeah.
So it can live in the Arctic, basically, like subarctic, I think.
Yeah.
So yeah, it's
Which
amazing.
is so interesting because it's sort of got that arid texture to it.
Yeah.
But again, that sort of that blue-green color, right?
Yes.
It's just beautiful and so hardy.
And that was here on the property, a few plants, and I've just divided them and spread them all over. So it's one of those wonderful things we got to inherit with this. It's 40 acres, so at first we were a little overwhelmed with just maintaining it. Even though I grew up in the country, everyone told us it's going to be a lot of work, and it is, but we love it, and it's amazing, and you just get to play with all the plants, and there's so much room to really do whatever we want. So
well, and you've got a studio space overlooking things that and you've got your animals.
Yes, we do. We have some animals, some goats and chickens and rabbits, and we've had other things too. So, yeah.
So in this space, you had to take out some of the older trees and plant some new things. Do you want to speak about what's happening in your newer areas now?
Yeah, I've just finally got around to working on this bed, and there were some older snowball shrubs. I always forget what they're called, but they had run their course and they were kind of all twisted and things. So we removed those. There was this beautiful mugo pine hiding behind them. And so I'm just filling in. I love hydrangeas, and I'm so excited that they're hardy now. And
and looks like your palette's very much the whites and the greens.
I love creams and light greens and that contrast, and it's just more pleasing to me. I mean, I love a colorful garden too. It's just, this is what I like for my space.
It's just very relaxing. And serene. And also, I always say, when you have those whites popping in the evenings.
Oh yeah, right? It stands out in the evening for sure. Yeah.
Beautiful. Okay, let's move to the next spot, shall we?
Okay.
Okay, so we've sort of moved away from the landscaped area, and we're going now into the more rustic, edible section, your veggie patch here. Do you want to talk to me about what we've got going on in your veggie patch for this season?
Sure. Actually, this wasn't here previously. We had another section that was the garden, and we moved it here. All the dirt, because it's just clay everywhere, and so the previous owners worked so hard amending the soil and getting it nice, so we didn't want to lose that, so we brought it here. And it's just our basic, potatoes, cucumbers, onions, carrots, spinach, and beans. And the beans actually got eaten by the deer the other day, so that's great. I mean, one of those things that we have happen out here. I've contemplated putting a fence around it, but we're not really growing it to survive. If we had to do that, we would be starving. It's not very big.
But baby potato, you're going to get a few beautiful meals out of it.
I love baby potato. I grew up on a potato farm, so potatoes are my jam. So,
there you go. Are you a sour cream person or are you a butter person?
Both.
Right? Is there even a question? I know.
That's crazy.
Right? And also asparagus. So let's just have a little conversation about asparagus. Because it's delicious in the springtime, but I love this foliage.
I know, it's beautiful. It's so wispy and light. It's just gorgeous.
And you can work that into the bouquets.
Absolutely.
I am going to start working this into my landscape at home, actually.
I know, why not?
It's
incorporate it in your beds. It's just gorgeous.
And once it gets established, it just thrives. So so veggies into the beautiful garden. I think I'm going to start working with that. I've got rhubarb worked into.
Rhubarb is amazing. How big it gets every year.
And the leaves are just so substantial, and they just they look like a big tropical.
I know, they're gorgeous.
Absolutely. Well, let's continue on. We've got all the apple trees, etc., etc. I really would like to get down to your farmyard and meet some of your creatures.
Okay, let's do that.
Okay, right on. We've made our way into the farmyard section now, where we've got chickens and rabbits and these lovely goats.
Yes.
Lovely ladies of yours.
Yes.
So they're not billy goats. Billy goats mean boy.
Yes, correct.
Okay, so nanny goats?
Yeah, they are. They're females. They're a white Saanen goat, so they're really good for milking, which we did for about a year.
Yeah.
And then the milking twice a day kind of got a little bit old, but
Yeah.
it was great. It was really fun for the girls to learn how to do that, and they were actually fabulous at milking with their little hands. And we would make cheese out of the milk, which was amazing.
Yeah.
Just a fresh cheese, and you just grab basil and tomatoes out of the garden. It was delicious. So I really miss that.
Okay. And then
But-
poop. Do you use goat poop in the garden? Or?
Yeah, I mean, sometimes it's a great fertilizer. We also use our rabbit poo, which it's just a perfect little nugget, and it's not messy or gross or anything, and you
Yeah.
can just sprinkle them in the garden. So yeah.
Very
Yeah,
good. Thank you, Linda, so much for having us. It's just such a beautiful place you have here. So adventurous. I just adore it. I think I'm gonna just, if you don't mind, hang out here with these ladies a little while longer.
Yeah, absolutely.
And just enjoy this sunshine and this getting down to earth. Woohoo! Okay.
Okay.
We'll see you later. Bye.